Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are back to Married at First Sight Australia series 11. Now we are on episode 36 where the final vows are continued basically, because they were stretching this shit out. They were stretching this out. Anyway, before I get into this video, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. I am on the road to 1k, so you know, comment, share, like, do what it is that you good guys do. Okay, and let's get into this episode. So we know Jack and Tori were meeting up to do their final vows basically. So Tori goes first and she talks about how their story is the greatest love story. I'm like, oh, power struggle. And I'm just like, I don't think there was a power struggle between you two. I think Tori just kind of laid over and said, yeah, this is my man, this is what I'm going to go with, and just, you know, allowed for things to go as they did. So I don't think there was a power struggle there, to be honest with her. I think there was a struggle between them two and all the other couples. But there weren't a power struggle between Jack and Tori, because Tori allowed for that power to be provided and given to Jack wholeheartedly at the end of the day. So Tori in her vows was gushing, talking about love and where she is and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, this man don't even love you yet. This man is not going to express his feelings in the way that you want him to express his feelings towards you. So she's basically saying that she wants to spend her life with him, and she's willing to make the sacrifice of moving her whole life from where she is to where he's at. And I'm like, well, Jack, what is Jack's response to that? So Jack, in his vows, deadpan, just lists, talking about the wedding and having each other's backs, talked about how he ran his mouth and says he made the poor decision. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to call it, you made poor decisions in the choices of words that you said, okay, because I don't think it had anything to do with him making the decision to say what he wanted to do. That was just innately in him, and he ran his mouth, and that's what came out, because that's just who Jack is. But okay, you want to say it was a poor decision, you say it's a poor decision. So Jack was basically concerned about the brutal environment of the experiment, and that they picked each other up like teammates, not lovers. Tori did not like that at all, because my thing is if you're looking for a tried and true and tested partner, wouldn't you want them to be your teammate in everything that happens, but also call you to account when they need to call you to account? But that's just my opinion. So Jack says that he didn't commit himself to this process for a platonic relationship or a teammate. I thought, okay. He turns around and says on top of that, they are not in love. So how can he ask Tori to uproot her whole life, I'm paraphrasing here, to move to the Gold Coast for him? I'm kind of like, he's still going to say yes at this point, even though he's saying all the negatives and X, Y, and Z. I know how the game is played. I believe I already knew he was still going to say yes to this woman. But he ain't going to say no on national TV. I think in his mind, he really, truly, and well and truly wants to make a go of it with her. And that's where they are at the moment. He says, before I leave, so he, in his decision to write it the way that he did, Jack was using no choice words in order to get the amount of impact that he could put on Tori to get what he wanted from her. So her whole face was literally saying and writing a story. At the time he was talking, she was hella scared that this man was going to say no to her in front of God and everybody at the end of the day. This is what she was afraid of, and you could see it written on her face. So he just says, I want to thank you and I'm sorry. And I was like, the dramatic moment continued, and it went on for ages, and I was kind of like, okay, the gaps happened for so long, come on, let us out of our misery already, because we already know what the fuck he's going to say. So Jack basically said before he was going to the vows that he would make his decision then and there, either whilst Tori was talking or then when he talked, because his decision could change at the drop of a hat. I think that was full of bullshit because he'd manufactured the words that he was already going to say at the end of the day. Do I believe that he did end up making a decision then and there? Yes, I did. Because I honestly believe the way that he was talking as well, that he was going to say no to her, but then quickly change his mind when he realised probably the amount of backlash he may get, not only from Tory, but from other people. So his brain decided, you know what, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes to her and see where it goes at the end of the day. So he says that he's ready to take her. He said he's head over heels for her, but then can't wait to fall in love. And I'm like, but doesn't head over heels and can't wait to fall in love mean you're already there? That don't make no sense, because being head over heels for someone means you've already gone past that precipice of where you are falling in love with them, or you've fallen in love with them already. So for him to say that he can't wait to fall in love don't make no sense to me. But hey ho. So they both ended up to stay together and continue on with their marriage. Tori then, talking afterwards, said she doesn't want to take anything away from Jack's vows. She will only take the nice parts away. And I said, yeah, this is why you two are so fucking suited for each other. You're both weird together. You're both literally living in cloud. They're both living in cloud cuckoo land. Like, this man said a whole bag of shit in his vows, and you literally, Tori literally won't dissect the shit that he just said to her, but she will accept the fact of only the positive parts that he said, which weren't a lot, to be honest, which wasn't a lot. Anyway, it goes to Sarah and Tim. Tim is literally all over the place. He doesn't know what the hell he's going to decide when it comes to Sarah, because again, he's still in that pocket of anxiety in regards to the situation that happened with Sarah's ex and the lies that he said to her, that she said to him, and how it quickly just rolled out of her mouth to lie to him in that regard. So it shows Eden and Jaden as well getting ready for their final vows. They meet up. So Sarah and Tim comes at the end, coming to the end towards of the episode in terms of their final vows. So Jaden is first, and he talks about being hurt and being at fault too in regards to the situation that they both found themselves in. He wanted to fix his faults as a man. He worried continually about not being good enough for Eden and not fulfilling her needs. And he literally tells Eden how he feels about her and said that he loved her and wants nothing more than what he asked for. He believes that the experts have paired him with the perfect person, and Eden is definitely for him. So basically it was a yes for Jada. He basically wants 5 children, or they've said, or Eden, in Eden's case, 5 golden retrievers, but we've got to add some people in there somewhere. So Eden talks about the wedding and her initial attraction to Jaden. Eden does get emotional, and he props her up, gives her that validation to continue, and she gets through her words just about. But he said yes from Eden, but we knew that was going to happen, to be fair. Hopefully they can change their pattern of communication with each other, but we'll see how that goes on. So Jaden had basically got Eden a present, and he did get her a diamond bracelet. I was kind of hoping that he would get her a proper engagement ring, but hopefully that will happen as time goes on with them. So now we get to Sarah and Tim. So the past few days, you do see them separated, like Sarah going back to her place and missing Tim, and Tim going back to his place, having a lot of anxiety and anxious thoughts in regards to which way he's going to go, because apparently his head was warring with his heart. So Tim does sit down and have this conversation with his friend Ben as well, you know, the one that's always literally trying to go the fuck out of Sarah to get a reaction out of her, which he always tends to do. So Ben asked him if he could trust her, and I'm like, Tim for me doesn't really answer that question. He says right now the trust is building, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if you have no trust there yet, or if it's just semblantly building, then you have no business saying yes to Sarah or any type of final vow where you say yes to this woman, because she's already destroyed your view of her in a certain aspect and destroyed that trust that you're now just building with each other. Is that trust going to be able to be built? Are you going to be able to build on a firm foundation if you do end up going in a relationship with each other? So basically They go to final vow. Then Sarah goes first, and she talks about how her nerves kicked in, and she did put up walls at the beginning of the relationship, showed that made her become really standoffish against him. She talks about how all the outside noise did get to them, but the outside noise was of Sarah's own making, because she couldn't accept responsibility for the bullshit that she caused within their wedding, within their marriage. But hey ho, we shall move on. She does apologise for the mistakes that she's made, and she does say that she regretted lying to Tim about her ex. Basically, Sarah's vows were good, they were open, and they were candid, basically letting Tim know exactly where she was. She wants to leave with Tim. So then it's Tim's turn. He talks about his excitement, and then how it turned to frustration with the situation that had occurred. He talks about the ex and how devastated he was and how much it did hurt him. So at this point, I was kind of like, is he going to say yes or no to her? This one, I couldn't read it. Usually I can read them, but this one I couldn't, because it was at this point that Tim was definitely warring with himself on which way it was that he was going to go. He was doubting his answer at this point. So I think with Tim, he definitely did make his decision at the vows. To be fair, that's how I saw it. He turned around and he said he was wondering if he says yes, will he be able to move on from the situation that had occurred. So again, Tim's vows were forthright, they were candid, they were to the point. So Tim basically turns around and says yes to her, and on top of that says that he's falling for her too. So that is where the episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button, so when you know I'm on and doing videos, please comment, please share, please like. Bring it all into me. I am on the road to 1K, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.